When I first saw the trailer for Mickey 17, I was immediately interested and quite curious. And no, not because Robert Pattinson sounded extremely weird in the trailer, nor because it was written and directed by Oscar-winning director Bong Joon-ho. I really hope I said that right. But it wasn't any of those reasons. It was because as soon as I saw the duplicate copy of Robert Pattinson in the trailer, well, my brain went straight to the movie from 2009 called Moon. That is a very stellar movie, and it has some similar elements to Mickey 17. I absolutely adored that movie. Sam Rockwell did a fantastic job in that movie. His character was so sympathetic, and then the director, Duncan Jones, also he crafted a very solid story. In fact, that movie is so solid that even after all these years, it has been quite a bit since I've seen it, by the way, I still immediately came back to it when I saw the trailer for Mickey 17. So how does this movie compare? Is this movie any good? Let's discuss Mickey 17. Mickey 17 tells the story of a man who volunteers to become an expendable, someone who is subject to dangerous conditions, possibly even dying, but then is just reprinted so he can wake up and do it all over again. It's kind of like a 3D printer, actually. And I will say it's a very fun visual watching him come out of the machine and get pulled back in. You know how printers do that? That was pretty funny. It stars Robert Pattinson, Stephen Yeun, Mark Ruffalo, Naomi Ackie, and Toni Collette. That's a pretty solid cast, if you ask me. I want to start right out by saying that this movie is so well made. It is a clear labor of love, and you can see that in every single detail, down to the set pieces, just the way this movie is filmed with those beautiful IMAX cameras, these performances. This movie, you can tell they put a ton of effort into giving you a story in a movie that really lands. And there are a lot of positives to this movie. Robert Pattinson has come so far since he played the sparkly vampire that people still hold against him in the Twilight movie. And since then, he's pretty much taken almost any kind of role that he could to not be anything like that. He's a very diverse actor, and he is a solid actor, and he does a great job in this movie. I loved the way he brought Mickey to life. Firstly, his mannerisms, that crazy voice he has.
On Earth, nothing was working out, and I wanted to get the hell out of it.
It's immediately gonna be pulling you in. You feel like it looks like Robert Pattinson, but it doesn't sound or seem like Robert Pattinson, and that is why he's a brilliant actor. Mickey has that kind of last kid picked for the baseball team kind of vibe. He is basically a loser, and he is somebody that kind of gave up on himself. He no longer cares about himself, and that is the reason that he decides that he can be an expendable. His performance is funny when it needs to be, but ultimately there's a lot of pain that this man is holding on to, and that is probably the best part of this character, is just seeing the idea of somebody who literally just gave up on themselves. He doesn't care at this point if he dies or if he has to go through a painful experience. And what kind of pain does someone have to be feeling in their personal life, in their mind, to literally just volunteer for something like that? That's some pretty heavy shit. I think Mickey is a character that a lot of people can probably relate to, and he is the true heart and soul of this movie. I really enjoyed Mark Ruffalo as well in this film. He really is almost like a cartoon villain in this movie. His mannerisms, the way he holds his lip, his attitude, you can tell that he's having a lot of fun playing this extremely smug wannabe king. Toni Collette will definitely have people laughing as well. She is kind of like the female version of Mark Ruffalo. She's equally narcissistic, big-headed, out of touch, and strangely obsessed with sauces. And I guess the last person I really want to single out from this cast is Naomi Ackie. Much of the best parts of this film involve this lady. She is very entertaining. Her character is probably considered mentally insane, but that makes her the perfect pair for Mickey. These two have some really good chemistry. She's got that strength that Mickey is lacking, and she uses that strength to kind of push him to stand up for himself, to try to become a stronger person. This is a great actress. I've seen her in a few things now. I think that she's going to continue to have a career that booms, and this performance is certainly going to help. As I said, there is so much that this movie does absolutely right. The cast is exceptional. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the director's style worked quite well. You are seeing a totally different side to this director with this movie. This is far different from the movie Parasite, although they are both dealing with people who are lower in the society. So there is similar themes between Parasite and this movie, I would say. But all that being said, all these nice things that I've been saying, at the end of the day, for some big reason, I didn't really enjoy this movie very much. I felt like the pacing in this movie was damn near lethargic, and I am not one to call movies boring. I don't have ADHD, I'm not super into big action scenes. I don't need a fast-paced, action-heavy movie to keep me entertained. And yet somehow this movie made me feel bored. And I was fully expecting to love this movie. I went in feeling overly positive. I was so drawn in with this cast. I was like, there's just no way that I'm gonna walk out of this movie not excited. I just didn't find the story to be very moving. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that feel like they're dragging out and they're just so slow moving. The pacing is just wrong in this film. It's just not right. That is one of the biggest problems. I can't help but feel like the director of this movie is clearly a fan of the movie Moon, and he wanted to put his own personal spin on it. But the thing is, Moon, that main character, was easier to get connected to. Sam, his name was Sam, and his character is played by Sam Rockwell, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, his character was more sympathetic. His character had a goal, something that he was working towards. Mickey in this movie, well, he doesn't care about himself. He doesn't really feel like his life has any value, and that made me not care too much about him either. I'd call him the weakest character in this movie, to be honest. He's a really sympathetic character. He's brilliantly portrayed by Robert Pattinson, but ultimately I just feel like he was not given a good enough story to make me feel connected to him. By the time this movie rolled its credits, I was extremely ready to be out of there. I jumped right up. I got out as fast as I could. I just felt like the pacing in this movie was driving me crazy. By the time this movie got to the final climax, I actually was starting to check my watch, which is why I'm going to give this movie a watch score of 1. As far as my overall score, I'm going to say a 5 out of 10. I felt big time let down by this movie. I had such high expectations. I saw this amazing cast. I saw these amazing accolades and this high praise from this director, and I thought, this is gonna be a fantastic sci-fi movie. And what I got was a movie that kind of bored me. It made me feel like I would have been better off spending my time rewatching Moon. That movie has way more going on. It might not be as impressive visually, but it's a better story all the way around. So that's my opinion. I'm disappointed to be saying this. I really wanted to say nothing but positive things about this movie, but what did you guys think of it? Did you see this movie yet? If you saw it, then put your thoughts on it in the comments and let me know. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.